Hi everyone. Meditation is very simple. Just open up your heart, open up your eyes, open up your ear. Everything from non-attachment, through seeing, through hearing, through touching, through feeling, from non-attachment. There's no self in seeing, there's no self in hearing, there's no self in thinking. Because the true essence of emptiness is not about seeing or not seeing. It's not about hearing or not hearing. It's not about thinking or not thinking. It's about non-self in seeing, non-self in hearing, non-self in thinking, in feeling. Even non-attachments, there's no self in non-attachment. There's no self in escaping the self. There's no self in the awareness itself. Just pure awareness of everything all together at once. The true awareness is awareness of everything all together at once. Not awareness of this, not awareness of that, not awareness of specific things, but everything all together at once. To be free from suffering, you have to open up everything in seeing, open up everything in hearing. Cleanse the cleansing itself through seeing. Cleanse the cleansing itself through hearing. Without grasping onto what you see, without grasping onto what you hear. It's about letting go of grasping, cleaning. Cannot use an attempt to let go, because there's self in letting go. You cannot let go of self. Let go of the let go itself in let go. There's no one's try escaping the suffering, because suffering itself is temporary in everything by its own self. There's no self in escaping the suffering. There's no self in avoiding suffering. There's no self trying to let go of suffering, because suffering itself is temporary. It has no meaning by itself. When you put meanings in the suffering, when you put self in the suffering, when there's a self in suffering, that's when suffering becomes self. And there becomes self in suffering. Suffering itself has no meaning. It comes and goes by itself. Therefore, you cannot use self in suffering, or you will be suffering itself. So everything from non-self, just remind yourself, everything's from non-self. Everything from openness. Openness is everything. Remind yourself. So this will remove the attachment from being specific to things, this or that, here or there. Emptiness has no meaning. There's no one achieving emptiness. There'll be no one being the emptiness. Emptiness has no meaning of what emptiness is. That's the true emptiness. There's no self in achieving nirvana. There's no self reaching nirvana, because nirvana has no meaning itself. You cannot have self in achieving nirvana, because self itself is not nirvana. So meditation is meaningless. The true meditation is meaningless. If there's a meaning of meditation, it means it has self in meditation. When there's a self in meditation, then meditation becomes suffering. To meditate without suffering, meditation without the meaning of meditation. Letting go the self in meditation. Letting go the one who try to meditate. Because the one who tries is a suffering by his own self. To end suffering, end the meanings of what it means by itself. Whether have self or non-self, it's irrelevant. There's no meaning in self, no meaning in non-self. When someone put meanings into things, the someone who put the meaning is a suffering in itself. So see it without meaning or not meaning. Hear it without meaning or have meaning. Understanding or not understanding. And that's the nirvana surrounding everything else that's suffering. The nirvana is one with the suffering. Emptiness is one with suffering. There's no one separate itself from suffering. You cannot separate yourself from suffering, because yourself is suffering itself. Therefore, let go the self in letting go. Not use self to let go of something. Non-attached from the self that is attaching or not attaching. Not using self to detach from something. Cannot use trying of something that has no meaning. You cannot try to achieve nirvana because nirvana has no meaning. The one who tries to achieve put meaning into something that has no meanings. So it becomes something you cannot achieve. So let go of trying to achieve nirvana. Letting go the one who tried to let go itself. And then the nirvana will be one with everything. Without self in it. Without self achieving it. All you have to do, remind yourself, everything is non-attachment. Everything means everything, inside and outside. Not this, not that. Not even the nothing itself. That's everything. It's not about trying to understand what something means. It's not about trying to comprehend of what associate with what. It's not about association. It's not about having meanings or not meaning, no meaning. It's about no self in meanings, no self in not meaning. Therefore, let go the self in letting go. This is the key of the right way of meditation. The right way means no meaning of what is right or what is wrong. Let go of the meaning of right. Let go of the meaning of wrong. Let go of the letting go itself. Then there's no worry, there's no more concern of whether you achieving or not achieving something, because there's no you, there's no real you anyway from the beginning to achieve or not achieve, to accomplish or not accomplish, because you It's not you. The you has no meaning of you. When you has no meaning of you, then there's no suffering. There's no you in suffering. When you has no meaning of you, there's no you in suffering. Self is an imaginary construct. When you think of self, then self materializes. When you not think of self, there's no self. So self exists when you think. When there's no thinking of self, there's no self. You can have thinking without self in the thinking. You use thinking toward cleansing the surrounding. You use thinking to cleanse the thinking itself. Then there will be no self in thinking. It's not about using opinion or judgment of what is right, what is wrong. All judgmental things is temporary. If you attach to the judgment, you attach to the suffering. You attach to the meaning, attach to suffering. This is beyond attachment. It's non-attachment. Non-attachment is non-suffering. Attaching to meanings is attaching to suffering. Attaching to thinking is attaching to suffering. Attaching to seeing is attaching to suffering. Therefore, it's not about seeing or not seeing. There is no suffering. It's not about thinking or thinking. It's no self in thinking or not thinking. Then there's no suffering in the thinking. So open up. Everything is not attachment. Everything is not attaching to the non-attaching itself. Everything, there's no self in non-attachment. Use such words and sentences to remind yourself. It will cleanse the attachment inside itself. Thank you.